I want the criticism, but I want it in a way that's conducive for me to get better. So I don't just saying, oh, that's trash, that don't help me. But if you say, oh, I don't like this and this is why I don't like this, this is what could possibly make it better, or just, oh, this is why I don't like it, that helps me know more, okay, I could do this differently and connect with a different audience better, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because it could be something that, you know, some people don't really mind,
Sure.
but that other people it's like make or break for being a listener of my music. So for me to, you know, ignore their criticism and act like it's just hate, then, you know, I'm doing myself a disservice.
Sure.
So,
how do you separate yourself from, like, when do you separate James from Deezy?
all the time.
How and when?
I mean, I try and keep my personal life as far outside of like the actual scene as I can, but in my lyrics is where you really get to see, you know, you get to know me a little bit more personally through my lyrics. But as far as what I put on social media, what I bring onto the scene, I don't bring my personal problems, you know, that in depth.
Right.
You know, I'm not on social media. Oh, my girl kicked me out today. Like, no, you'll never see that shit from me. And I see way too many people put too much of their life out there for people to see. You know what I'm saying? There has to be a divide. So when I'm on the scene, like, you gonna see Deezy.
Right.
My boys, everybody else, they know James. They know the real me. You can get to know a little bit of me through my music, but I'm not the type of person to put all my business out there on social media or anything like that. So I think people really need to recognize that, because I see, like I said, it's way too many people that put all their information on social media, and it ends up hurting you in the long run, because I mean, in any professional situation, if you putting everything out there, it's gonna catch up to you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Do you listen to the radio?
I rarely listen to the radio.
Yeah,
I listen to more radio ever in my life when Rolling Drop. And you know, I listen to the Wild Wake Up.
Yeah.
They always got some craziness going on, but
Well,
I rarely listen to the radio just because I don't really like a lot of the popular music.
Well, I mean, that's another thing I was gonna say. It's like we get the whole thing now. How, you know, the people used to ask for the music. You know, now we're just told what to listen to.
Yeah.
Now,
I've never heard Drake so many times in one day in my life, but
well, that's what I was gonna ask you.
he had God's Plan and what is it? What's the other song?
Kiki, Cheap, whatever.
No, that one too, but this was the one before that one. I can't remember the name of it.
More
yeah,
like,
Nice for What. Them God's Plan and Nice for What was on all day.
All day.
Back to back too.
Like, what do you think about that? Do you what adjustment needs to be made in radio, do you think, if there is one?
I don't know, because I mean, they're playing what's popular. So until the people make something else popular, that's just what it is. I really don't know. I don't know all the inner workings of what makes them do what they do.
Sure.
But,
what about the people like I'm curious to know your opinion in regards to people like Charlemagne, and you know what I'm saying, like the guys that have such a big swing in hip hop, where if they say Deezy's album's hot, 100,000 people can go buy an album just because they respect who that person is.
I wouldn't say so necessarily, like, because even Charlemagne says it on there. He has to play a bunch of shit that he don't even fucking like.
Right.
You know, so I mean, he can say that, and there are some people that follow Charlemagne closely that are gonna say, "Oh, let me go listen to this person. He does have the hottest album."
Sure.
But at the end of the day, if majority of the people are drawn, you know, aren't that tuned in with Charlemagne, or they don't respect him that much, you know what I'm saying? There's people that aren't. There's people that have probably never heard his show before. Like there's people out there. So, I mean, I don't feel like just him saying that is the end all be all of it, because at the end of the day he still has a job to do.
Sure.
And if he's not doing that job, I mean,
well, and that's, you know, it's like back in the day. I don't want to say back in the day. I want to say it like in regards to what the job was or is that, you know, if enough people say something about somebody, then they talk about it,
yeah.
right? As opposed to just someone paying them to talk about someone. So for me I'm asking, I don't know, for me I'm going, is it still the business of what's popping we talk about, or what's popping we're paid to talk about? You know, is it you remember when you call in a radio station, you go, man, play this song, and then they'll play the song. But then now it's like,
now you call, they might play it like 3 hours later.
If anything,
like, nigga, I'm at work now.
If anything, like, well, yeah, it's like, if anything, now you just calling just to hopefully you get some prize. Like, you know, it's not even about just requests, because it's almost like, you know, it's like you were saying, like the Drake songs. Mm-hmm. Does that mean that many people are literally calling in requesting it, or is it kind of predetermined for that to be played?
I mean, I don't know. It's Drake, so people gonna want to hear it anyway.
True. You know? The power that DJs and people who just supposed to be distributing the music to you, the power that now that they have in regards to them telling you what they actually think now, as opposed to just showing us what we think. Do you see, like, what do you think about that dynamic and how it's been changing?
I think it's tough because, I mean, like you said, I think the dollar bill holds a lot of the power, because you could give a DJ a track and he's gonna help you out. He might play the song one time, and if everybody ain't jumping for the first time he play it, he might never play it again. Right. But if you paid him to play it, he gonna spin that, you know, as many times as he need to,
and make them like it.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? And that's where building relationships comes into play when you're in the industry. Because if you have a relationship with that person, they're going to be more inclined to say, okay, well, let's spin this many times, let's see what we get. You know what I'm saying? And you know, there's a lot of songs that don't catch on the first time you hear it. There's a lot of songs that I hate the first time I hear it, but over time when me hearing it, I grow to actually like it.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it takes more than just one spin. Oh, nobody reacted. Guess you suck. Like, nah, you know, it takes more than that. And then also, I think it also falls on artists not being realistic with their audience. Because there's some artists that think, oh, let me run up in the club, hand the DJ my song, you play it, I'm gonna blow up. You might not have club music. You might not have radio music.
True.
There's certain artists that have a really, really niche audience, and they have to be able to recognize that. If you can't be real with yourself on that, then you always gonna be behind, because you're gonna be going after the wrong people.